Man, what's up, everybody? I'm starting to see, and it's a realization that the reason why black people don't work together, black men, so-called black men don't work together, is because we always got a blueprint on how a black dude is gonna act when women come around. Every other race don't have this kind of problem of letting women jump in their spaces. And overall, when you look at the black manosphere and you look at some black content creators, the way they move, and the reason why they don't, jump into bed with different types of dudes, or they do it behind the scenes, or they deal with them on a small scale, is because they know that guys are weak. Like, basically, when I made a video that said about how black men are the most controlled by their women and they don't have your best interests. That came to fruition when I seen a situation that happened with two YouTubers. I'm not gonna say their names because I don't want to be involved with that beef, but I'll say the other people's name. So this one YouTuber said to this other one that he's not gonna let YouTuber A get personal with women. So he pretty much protected these women on his panel because he knew these women longer than the guy, and he took the female side. But the funny part to me is that this same YouTuber would allow these same women to attack people personally. When women ask about a man's sexual life, if a man says it's none of your business, everybody start laughing and saying, oh, he don't get no girls. They always seem to go to that when the guy says, stay out of my life. Or when a guy says he doesn't give you the information that you want online, y'all discredit him. But then women, the same people who put these rules out for men to show their work, they don't say this shit to the same women who come on these panels. I was going to subscribe to this dude that I'm talking about, but I'm not no more because I seen for who he was. And I'm happy that I always jump into situations of YouTubers and anybody because I could see their body of work. One of the greatest things about YouTuber in video form, we can see how bad and how contradicting these people really are based off their videos and based off situations in the videos. So I was like, let me subscribe to him. Let me do my research on him. And then I saw his few lives that destroyed everything that he said in all his other videos that I watched. When he said he was gonna roast the YouTuber A, and he was gonna roast him because he was gonna say something. Then the female said, go back to his channel with 5 viewers. Why is it that when it comes to the men, you telling men to show their work, but you're not telling the women to show their work, show their man, show their family, show all of this? So the men got all they got to do is keep showing their work, and these women get to sit there and say whatever they want and bring imaginary stuff out their mind so they can lie and jump from panel to panel and stuff. And I'm gonna get to that soon, right? This is why nobody want to work with black men. Other races don't want to work with black men, and other black men don't want to work with black men. Brian Solange himself said he don't want to mess with a whole bunch of YouTubers because the way they move and how they kowtow the females on here. And he's right. Why would you want to work with a bunch of dudes who, when in a situation, they'll take the female side? Even if you know her, you will tell her straight away. It's a put down the rules, put down the fucking rules for the debate. Don't get personal. Don't ask personal questions. on both sides. Put a rule before y'all talk. And then if a female destroys that point and she keeps doing that, kick her off the panel. But the fact is, these guys are weak. They got all of this so-called knowledge and all this other stuff, but it's in the wrong hands. And then I seen it and I'm like, yo, this dude is weak. I thought he was cool, but he's weak. I saw him through O'Shea's situation and the way he was talking and everything, and I'm like, okay, this dude is kind of cool. And then the next minute he's talking about YouTuber A, and I'm like, yo, are you for real? You letting these women just attack him like that and change up what submission and stuff is? Oh, don't disrespect my panel and all this other stuff, but they've disrespecting him. And then you telling men to show their work, and y'all keep taking this stupid ass crap talking about show your work. But when these women come on here talking that talk, you need to tell them that to show their work. Show a badge number. Show something. You seen my work pictures. Come on, man. You talking about show your work. I want to see if these women are married. It's ways to doctrine somebody's face and blotch it out. We want to see your work. We want to see you with your man. So you just to know that you have a man. They know that you're not fat. Or any other thing that men bring to the conversation, but you're not going to do that. So this is why a lot of men don't work with a lot of black men don't want to work with other black men in any type of situation, because you would throw another black man under the bus for the worst black men, just like the black women, and you would throw them under the bus for the worst type of women. And you're promoting, you always promote the wrong women. Oh man, she's cool to me. She's cool. And mind you, I made a video about this one where I said stop letting other men endorse the wrong women to you. The same YouTuber who came at Darius McTow, but she not made not one post on her Twitter about the cucumber challenge. These are women who got kids, but she wants to go right now and says, I'm going to repeat it. Don't be on the internet talking crazy if you have kids. Get a life. Grow up. This is why so many folks need marriage to grow. Let go all this anger and get counseling. Then he went private because 100 people asked him to justify himself. Of course, he can't justify lies. Many of these folks you hear preaching this stuff are married or living with single moms, but telling you to not do it while they're eating, laughing all the way to the bank. Get counseling. Get counseling. YouTuber's not a therapy couch. But I don't see none of her posts about women in a cucumber challenge. She's not saying that to these women who twerking online. She's not attacking the women like she did him. And if we ask women to justify themselves to doing the stuff that they do by minding them having kids, she be the same type of woman who would say that's none of our business. Just like YouTuber B did the same thing to YouTuber A. So when it comes to men, we got to justify ourselves. We got to show our work. But when it comes to women, we can't talk about their all their stuff, right? Come on, man. This is the reason why nobody want to be around working with black people, because they contradicting and they hypocrites. At least when you work with white guys, Asian guys, all that, at least they got most of their women down packed. They don't let no women jump in their conversations or panels after they talked about them. And now segue into the situation with C Boogie and Obsidian. C Boogie made a live talking about Obsidian and saying some really disturbing things, and rightfully so, because Obsidian is feeling himself a lot, and a lot of people want him to knock a peg. I mean, Obsidian is going out here saying he has FU money, but if you did, that means that you will be a millionaire. And this is not coming at Obsidian, but this is also him just talking trash, him talking the way he do, right? He think that people are supposed to support him no matter what, because he's the only one talking about it. And he has a right, he has a case with that. Because he's the only one who actually calling out women out here about their double standards. I mean, how many other YouTubers out here who actually pointed out that black women are actually socially awkward, or that there's a selection of a bunch of women who don't fit the category a lot of men want. This is why they single. And he made a good point in this video about, you know, the standard of beauty, and all these women came up here talking about fat, thick women. But they didn't come into the suggestion that most men don't want even thick women. They want slim women. Not slim, thick, none of that. And they don't care. So they thought to say that the standard should be thick women in the black America. But then if men don't want that, where are they supposed to go? Right? Just like the way they do when they choose men, knowing that a lot of men are not tall, knowing that a lot of men are not packing, knowing a lot of men who can be tough, they're strong, silent type. These are the same women who try to make us talk about the standard on the show. But the fact is, it becomes more nauseous when you see the same women who talked about him behind his back on his panels, in his chat box. And Obsidian wants blind loyalty, but he don't, for some reason, he thinks that he can talk about people being broke, stingy, and cheap, and he wouldn't get backlash, or talking about MGTOWs and stuff, and let Kevin Samuels put the battery in his back, like Reg said, and let him do his owners. I'm gonna show you instances where that Obsidian don't understand business like that. Because if he did, he wouldn't be talking about his subscribers, and he would be getting rid of these women who turned on him and then jump on his panel, because it makes him look a certain way. So exhibit A right here, man. Example A. Movies are starting to become real boring, repetitive. And they starting to put propaganda in music. I mean, propaganda in shows, and they're messing up trilogies, and they're messing up a lot of different things that people enjoy about the movies. People don't want to go to the movies anymore. I stopped going to the movies like 8 years ago. See, if movies was fun to go into, I would literally go to the movies early in the morning and be the only one in the movie theaters to enjoy the movies, because it's special to go to the movies and enjoy the movies, because you're out the house and you got a different ambience. But I threw that away because most of these movies are not worth it, because they got SJWs. They're not doing what they should be doing with the material, and the actors, the producers, are putting down their audience, the people who consume it, and it's not working out so good, is it, with them, right? There was a situation last year where one of the devs of Battlefield 5 talked down to all of the supporters for the game and told them and called them names and said that they were this and they were that. Kind of like Obsidian situation. This is, mind you, this is a $1 billion company. Guess what? People voted with their wallet and didn't support the game. It only made 3 million. When this series should have made more than this. But insulting the fans and everybody getting it out there saying, F these guys. You want to assault us and we got the money? Insulting your fans and calling them broke, stingy, and cheap doesn't grow nothing. And everybody's starting to learn that. And you need to take cues and look at more than what you're looking at in the whole grand scheme of things. Everybody out here is losing money. YouTube is losing billions of dollars for talking down and treating the people on here like that. The movies are losing their gripe with that, because they're treating people with bad content and stuff like that, and propaganda in their movies. Video game makers are telling the fans that they're there to applaud them and stuff, and people are not supporting them. You can't talk to your consumers like that. You can't talk to your supporters like that. If your supporters say, yo, let's get these women out of here, then you should basically say, okay, give me this amount of money and I'm gonna get rid of all these women. You should have played it to your hand, but you said you're smart. And this is, like I said, this ain't no jab to him, but he said how smart he is and he has business acumen and all this other stuff. We don't want the people in that chat box do not want the women in that space anymore. We see how two-faced they are. We see they full of crap and they destroy the whole talking points of everything. They're bull crap. And you need to listen to your supporters because everybody's waiting for that whole move to Black Avenger and see how many people who really gonna support you. Because back in the day, we know that Obsidian, he used to get more views than he get now. He used to get like 1,500 at best 1,000 when he had MGTOW people on his channel and everything else. And for people out here keep talking about all his people are incels and stuff like that, is that real bad? Because at least incels will support what they think they need to support. They will stay loyal to the market that they want to subscribe to. They're not fickle like the so-called players and all these guys who talk about self-improvement and all this other crap. They're messy. At least with these guys, they complain about women and blah, blah, blah. At least they stay loyal. You can get these guys money for about 10 years. As long as you stay core and speak the way you want and speak what they like, you continually build off the money that they're giving you. Unlike the fickle dudes out here. But going back to this situation, right? You can't talk to your fans that way. These guys that created the cell and EA and all that, they found out the hard way, like, hey, no. You ain't gonna talk to us that way. We ain't messing with you. We ain't messing with y'all no more. We ain't buying that game. I really wanted to play this, but I buy something else. I'll wait for Red Dead Redemption to come out. Who cares about y'all? And people opted out and bought Red Dead Redemption over this. Because the devs didn't talk about, the people didn't talk about the fans and the consumers of Red Dead Redemption. They didn't talk about their fans. They just gave them a great game. Same thing with here. The box office. The movies industry is going down. Not just because technology. It's because agendas. And them insulting their base fans. The core audience. Those guys leaving. And you got a bunch of fickle people in there. The WWE. Let's talk about that. Obsidian and the WWE have something in common. They're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and thinking that you're going to get better results. It seemed like to everybody else that is, to everybody else, Obsidian is delusional to think that he can talk these women to change. And he constantly having these women on the panels and a lot of people don't like it. And he constantly thinks that he's smarter than he is. Just like Vince McMahon with the WWE. See, Obsidian and Vince McMahon have similar mindsets. And they got similar situations. If somebody new came out just like Obsidian and said stuff was alternative to everybody else, you know how many people would jump on that new person that talked like Obsidian but had a newer, fresher version of the so-called black female fucker, but they named it something else? He would lose half of his audience to that new person. Just like Vince McMahon losing half of his audience to all of the other wrestling companies out here. There is no alternative to black female fuckery yet. But when it does come down, we'll see how many loyal his fans are, right? Second thing, he relying on the wrong people to support him instead of doing what he need to do to keep the core audience and literally just making it about the core audience. A lot of people don't want to care about the same people all the time. We don't want to hear about Cynthia G 1,000 times. We don't want to hear about Derrick Jackson 1,000 times. It's time for you to start doing more research on other types of guys. Be on social media. Do research from social media. There's plenty of guys out here that you can put studies on. It's time for you to, you have to evolve. Because you're dependent on certain people who are hypocrites themselves. Just like how they are delusional fans of WWE, think that WWE is better than everything else. And the viewers are going low and low. The core audience already left. Now you got a bunch of casuals watching stuff and don't know their product is ass. Right? Vince McMahon and Obsidian has the same kind of mindset where they think that they're geniuses. And Obsidian is he is pretty much, he's creative, but he ain't as creative as he should be. Because if he was so creative, when he said socially awkward women, he should have put it out there about certain situations, or he should have brought people on there. Because the same guys jumping on his panels saying the same crap, and they're jumping on other people's panels saying different shit. It takes the seriousness, and it takes some of the enjoyment out of this, out of his show. And it takes some of this, it takes a lot of it out of the shows. Like, you got one guy who like BBWs, but then turn around and say he want women to be in shape. Then you got other guy who try to go and get somebody else, and he got the same type of dudes on here just flip-flopping. We need new people on there, and they're not coming up there because he's thanking some of these people who he need to show what's it called. But he thank the right people. Sometimes, most of the time, he thank the right people, but he needs some new blood on there. And he needs to have an interview type of thing like O'Shea, or somebody who can tell him and result and give him analysis and screenshots on their research. You can ask anybody out here about their research and what they have on black female fuckery and what they have on women being socially awkward and stuff like that. Why don't you start encouraging men to get a body cam? If you doing all this money, instead of buying suits and going out to see movies, invest in a body cam. Because people would pay for you to go out in the street and show all the women in Philadelphia on your body cam. And then you blur their faces out and stuff and say, look at all these women at events that you say that you out with your lady friend. Show your experience through cameras. And then you would get more subscribers and more people paying you to go out there and do that work. Now let's go back to the original. All that being said about Obsidian, at least he has his own. He has his own channel. Unlike these flip-flop women, they're not as creative as he is, but they are as manipulative and two-faced as you think they are. So there's a situation that happened between him and C Boogie, right? And there's a lot of things that happened, and a lot of things were said in that thing, in that video or that live. But the one thing you have to notice is that these women right here on this panel, this chick right here at the far end, I don't think she was in it. The chick Wanda, she was in another chat room talking about Obsidian. This chick Nicole, and all the other chicks in Obsidian's chat room always coming in the chat room after they talked about him. Now I'm gonna show you a whole bunch of pictures that I took, because I didn't want to screenshot all of them. It was too long or whatever. So I took the cheap shot way. So some of these pictures going to be grainy. Mind you, this is the day after all these women talked about him. And he was nice enough, and for me, it was kind of a simp move, to let these women on his panel and stay in his chat room when he should have just banned him from the gate. You want to talk about me? Stay over there to see Boogie's crap. Stay over there to Taz shit. Stay over there. Stay out of my chat room. Stay off my channel. You want to talk about me? Stay over there. That's what he should have did, but he didn't. So here we go. So, you got Nagone in the chat room who used to be on Obsidian side, and I thought they squashed it, but it was funny right there, right here, to have him in there. He's always on C Boogie side now, and I understand where Nagone came from because Nagone is arrogant and shit, and he also like female validation. Because if you ask Nagone and ask him like, yo, why don't you work out if people ask him the right questions and he talking about he in the gym lifting it and everybody watching him, but then he talk about self-improvement. If you are really out there going to the gym to self-improve, then you don't need nobody to watch you work out. You'll go in the gym when nobody's around. So it's just validation. Plenty of times I went in the gym when nobody was in there, and it felt good. So you need women to validate you and give you more pump up power in a gym. So his message is tarnished too. Get your mind right, get your money right. It's tarnished already. I found a hole in his talking points a long time ago when he was saying the stuff that he was saying. And talking about guys need to walk around being bulky and big, but he not gonna tell these guys how much it takes for them to feed themselves. Being bulky and big, and how much it goes on your limbs, and how easy it is for you to tear certain muscles if you don't pay attention to it. But he was in the chat, right? Minister Jack was in here talking about Obsidian. Now, he must have had something in the thing. So Grinch guy was in there and he said Obsidian is just like these niggas in the audience. These chatbot niggas can't talk shit. But I thought Obsidian and Grinch was cool. He's going around calling his books and then trying to act like, he's the ambassador and stuff, but he's talking about Obsidian's people in his chat box and talking bad about him. And this is my point when I say blackmail embarrassment. Why would anyone want to work with a bunch of black people who could turn on you in a second when somebody else come up with a different talking point instead of just staying out the whole situation? Now, Miss Sparkles, by the way, if y'all see her in the chat and you do your own research, look at her all and up and down the chat after the show, after what she said. She said, I'm not scared of that short ass. But the next day of Obsidian's live, he addressed C Boogie and he addressed everybody. And he asked her straight up, come on the panel. Come on the panel. And she said, I'm not scared. But guess what? She didn't come on the panel. Why are you in this chat? Why are you in this chat right now talking shit? But then you jump on this panel and jump in his chat. And then you want to go back and forth with the dudes in there. You that desperate for attention that you can't get outside of YouTube, that you got to talk about people, but then you're going to go right back into the chat box to go back and forth with men you don't know? Are you serious? Miss Sparkles again. Say, yeah, he's very jealous of C Boogie. Obsidian has feminist traits. But you are in his feminine traits chat box. You on his channel. If he has feminine traits, why are you in his chat box all the time? Stay out of his chat box and go to people who got masculine traits then. You make yourself look like a fool by even going into a person's chat box that you just talked about. You show that you're a two-faced chick. Then you had a female who's part of the hood rat brigade. He said he got a face for radio, that's for sure. But she's always coming in his chat, going back and forth with the men. Stay over there with Taz. Stop going on places that you're not supposed to be and you shouldn't be. This is what Obsidian said in one of his other videos, saying about socially awkward women. Miss Sparkles and this other chick. You're in spaces that you don't want to belong, but you're gonna talk about the men in his chat room and talk about the man himself. But you on his panel, you on his chat room every single time he goes live. For what, attention? It shows how much of a lame you are. Because I'm not going to go into Nicole Michelle's live and try to get attention from the women in there and go back and forth. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't like her messages. I'm not going over there. There's a couple other people who are on here and going on live, and I don't go in none of their stuff. If I don't like them, I stay out of their stuff. I stay out of their chat box. But for some reason, both of y'all come in the chat box after y'all talk about the guy. Here go another chick, Taylor Scott. I'm tired of these guys making up terms. She used to come on Obsidians when Tash used to come over there, and finally she stopped coming in there. But she was on here too. See? So we here got Miss Sparkles again saying the focus is too much on black women and it's old news. Wait a minute. So black women got to talk about black men for 50, 60 years. But the focus is old news. So we supposed to let go of about 50 years of being spit in the face and not having a word that show that is different types of black men out here. But we supposed to all shut up because you don't like what we showing the world about how many different types of group that black women neglected over the past couple of years. Even the so-called black incels, you created them. Here she go again. Yeah, they should be speaking on how black men can improve their lives. Oh, so what? So you can try to benefit off of a black man's success, because when I see black men succeed, for some reason, and this is what I said about black men being mind control. They always seem to think that they can reach down and help these women or find a good woman and make a black family. So you really want to use men for what they have and their success, so you can try to take credit and control that man, because it's happening all over YouTube. Like the situation I told you with the YouTuber A talking about. YouTuber B talking about YouTuber A and kicking him off and saying he gonna roast him. He has a platform, but he's controlled by women. All these guys seem to be controlled by women. They have talking points of women. They got platforms made for women. They let women who disrespect men into their platform. And so basically they got women controlling them. But improve themselves for what? Because if you bring that stuff and say, okay, they improved themselves to be happy. Okay, I understand that. But not improve themselves to be with black women. Because I hear y'all thinking that every time a guy improves himself, he should be with y'all. But y'all missed the mark with some of these guys, and then you mad because they join another side. Even the ones who don't talk about black women, you got a problem with them. But Miss Sparkles is just full of crap. She always is. Always going back and forth with the city and chat after she talks about them. And talks about black men. And here we go with one of these other dudes saying Obsidian is a weirdo. The reason guys don't like him because they are like him. They don't get women. That's facts. Here go the assumption and generalization. So you think that you know what, you got superpowers now? Just because they're fans of somebody? So if you're a fan of a rapper who beats on women, then I can say that, yo, you a woman beater because you're a fan of a woman beater, and that's facts, right? So anybody that y'all like, any athlete y'all like that does some crazy stuff, I'm gonna say, whoa, that's what you are. If you listen to rap music, they're talking about all this other stuff. I'm gonna say, oh, that's who you are, right? If we play the generalization and we generalize everybody, then we can do the same thing to you. If you hang out with thieves, you're a thief. If you hang out with drug dealers, ex-drug dealers, you're ex-drug dealers. Bank robbers, you're a bank robber. If you go behind somebody who sleeps with married women and sleeps with women with men who have women who got boyfriends, then you're a low level guy, right? So you just like him if you support certain people who has certain characteristics and qualities, that means you're just like them too, right? So same people out here talking about guys not getting women, but they get mad because when Obsidian made fun of C Boogie's dyslexia, it was supposed to be some kind of, oh my god, I can't believe he made fun of her, but you making fun of men who don't get women. You telling them that they're lame and they're losers when they decide that they want to jump to sex dolls or just say, I don't want to deal with women no more. I opt out. I don't want to be a part of this shit. I'm gonna be alone. But just because a man takes shots, so C Boogie can take shots all he want, but when you make fun of somebody's disability, like y'all always do in the black community, if somebody's too small down there, you're gonna make fun of them. If somebody's short, you making fun of them. You think that the key to not having people make fun of them is going to the gym. Stupid ass people, man. Oh man, here we go. The chick. I don't care to say her name, but she says this right here. It's a lot of them on here that they have a voice and they're smelling themselves. This is the same chick that was on Obsidian's live that she wouldn't tell her weight, and she was going back and forth, not answering questions. And when he brought her on her panel, she was just dodging questions left and right. But then she jumps into Obsidian's chat box trying to make conversation with men and Obsidian. But then she started to agree with C Boogie. See, this two-faced crap that I'm talking about. So I'm gonna get this out the way, and I'm gonna defend Obsidian on the situation, right? A lot of people are talking about his prom story and they're not getting it. And this is my I analyze his prom story. His prom story means basically that women like a particular type of dude. If he acts, see, all of y'all people on here talking about self-improvement and all this other bullshit and everything else and all this other crap, you don't know if that shit works in the environment that you're in. You don't know that, dude. So if a guy bulks up and women still don't like him and he talk about game and all this other crap, and it giving him migraine to use game and go back and forth with women, and it's taking a lot out of him and stressing him out to use game and basically keep up with the harsh of building his body and keeping it where it's at. But the women are still giving him the same signals, and he only can get unattractive women. What he supposed to do? What he supposed to do? To take the three ugly women into a prom, right? Because what y'all didn't get, what he didn't say is who paid for the prom. Who was gonna pay for the prom? Y'all see, y'all not thinking. Y'all going after his story, but y'all not going after some of the situations. Who was paying for the prom? Because if it was out of his pocket or out of his parents' pocket, why would he want to be with a Why would he want to be with homely fat women at a place where he had to pull money out of his pockets instead of being with a woman that he want to be with? He asked 12 girls, and his mom and his sister took the liberties to try to push some ugly women that he didn't want on, but probably try to make him pay for the whole thing too. But y'all not talking about that. Yes, he got turned down by 12 women, but was it their business to set him up with women that he didn't like, saying they feel sorry for him? So the same guys who talk about his prom story, how about this one then? If somebody had a daughter who failed at relationships, would you think that it's wrong for a man to bring three fat guys to her to take her on a prom because she couldn't find a prom date? Or to bring these fat guys that she don't like to marry her because it make the family look good? What would you say about that then? And she had to spend her money on these guys that she wasn't attracted to. You would have a different story. The prom date story, the prom thing is basically him saying that he did what everybody said he should do. He listened to everybody's advice. Because when you ask these idiots, they tell you to approach women. Mode 1, tell women what you want up front. Other YouTubers, oh, you need to talk to 1,000 women. Maybe you will get good luck. Obsidian had 12 women he went to. Oh, why don't you bulk up and get big? You didn't know what he looked like back then. I seen guys who was short and big. I laugh at them because they still short, and I still can body slam them. I have leverage of height. I mean, I have a picture of a short guy, of a midget who was kind of diesel. He's still a midget. Doesn't matter if he buff. It doesn't matter if he was packing. He's still short. And that's a dangerous mindset to tell men that they have to be a plus just to get women. Because then we go on down the route of Robin Williams and any type of comedian that tragically passed away by their own hands or by the hands of drugs. Because they always have to be funny. They couldn't take off being funny. They always had to be this and this and this and this just to have a woman around them. They could never be themselves. But you think that's healthy? To keep putting on this role and putting this extra time in just to be accepted instead of being yourself? It's been proven fact that all these Disney Channel stars who have to be nice and shiny and nice always end up in drugs. Always end up wasted. Because they was never themselves. They never got to be just themselves. So they have to suppress themselves and be who they don't want to be just for people to like them. But you want to put that on black men. Oh, get big. Don't matter if you pay a $300 grocery bill. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you big and stuff and it still don't work. Keep trying. Keep taking my advice and keep falling on your ass. And I'm gonna laugh at you. Because if even if Obsidian was so called big, women would still laugh at him. Same thing with Kevin Hart. Yeah, Kevin Hart. He needed money. And the reason why he cheated on his girl because he knew basically his woman don't like him if he ain't have no money. So he said, "F it. I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna live my best life, but I'm gonna have to market myself in this situation." This is why a lot of guys out here who have to add things to themselves, they don't have loyalty to nobody, loyalty to women at all, because they have to add something to themselves just to get a woman. But you're going to keep promoting that. Okay, keep promoting that. The whole prom story was about him taking people's advice. And then when it failed, his parents tried to step in. His mom tried to step in and his sister tried to step in, picking women for him because they not felt sorry for him, but they didn't respect his decision to sit out at the prom because he didn't get what he wanted. It was all about coming down to to respecting his decision to not go to a prom, because they wanted him to go to a prom so they can have that kind of momentum in their mind. Oh, my brother went to the prom. My son went to the prom. It wasn't about his happiness, it was about theirs. And that's what the story was all about to me. It wasn't about him, it was about them. It was about them manipulating him to do what they wanted him to say for their happiness and not for his. And let's move on. And here goes your favorite YouTuber. The one who cursed me out on Reg the Bad Guy channel and called me all types of bitch ass niggas and blah 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 and all this other stuff. It was funny that she got so mad because I didn't want to listen to her voice. And then she stopped the whole show just to scream at somebody and scream at me. But people believing that she's some kind of thing. And then look what she says about men. These dudes want women. Some are scared, some don't know how to, and some never had. She making generalization now. But this is supposed to be a chick who's spiritual, right? An older broad who's supposed to be spiritual. Well, I'm spiritual. First rule of spirituality is you never understand anybody unless you read their key. Read their aura. You don't know anybody out here who really out here. You can put anybody in a situation and they will lose. It's about being in the right places at the right time. But guess what? People still believe her. I'm off her right now. But she just was in the chat. Now, I don't have no problem with Xanadu Clutch, but it seemed to me kind of phony a little bit, but that he was always on Obsidian's, and Obsidian never said anything about Xanatos. He was always cool with him. But he came out of this comment with saying, Rudem, and mind you, this the same Rudem who talked about Kevin Samuels and calling him a slur. But then he want to come up here talking about Obsidian. Then he came. This is a day. I think 2 days before he was on Reg the Bad Guy channel lying on getting somebody's channel flagged. Also, he's coming at random people for a woman. This dude Rudem can't even be a man of his word and uphold a bet that was $20. But he can give a female a fruit basket and call her sexy and stuff, but he can't give another man a bet that he went to. Preem gave the bet on Reg the Bad Guy's channel, right? I think Preem paid Obsidian for the bet that Obsidian said he get $100 for the bet about Asifia G having a kid, right? Preem was a man for about that, and he gave the money. But this dude Rudem, he's sitting there talking about Reg and all this other stuff and seeing all this, skipping up and down. And for C Boogie, all that talking tough and stuff, you was just with Kevin Samuels 2 weeks ago and you was chilling with him. And then you let the same dude who called him out, called him names, you let him go on your panel instead of checking him and say, yo, I ain't like what you said about Kevin Samuels, dude. Kevin Samuels is a cool dude. I met him up close. We talked about certain things. You should have never said what you said. Take your video down. Instead, he didn't say nothing. He just came at Obsidian. And that shows you a chink in C Boogie's armor too, to not stand up for himself, just like he did with the situation with ARC and O'Shea. When O'Shea checked ARC and kicked him out and said, yo, I don't want him a part of this. I don't want him even near me. And C Boogie didn't come at O'Shea like that. And like I said, with these guys, with this game, these swag and stuff, they don't attack bigger people than they do. This is why I tell y'all in one of my other videos that game is a gimmick. And never listen to take the advice of people who don't got rivals. See, Boogie's an example. He ain't talking when he needed a chance. He talked to somebody. He talked down to people he can talk down to, like people like Obsidian. He think he's below him, but he'll never do that to O'Shea. Even though O'Shea has beef with ARC, and he didn't check Rudem for talking about Kevin Samuels. The one thing a person I respect on here the most is the Grandmaster Troll, Kenneth Thomas. At least he comes at everybody. He not scared of nobody. He even he told Angry Man. It was a story between him and Angry Man. He told him, "Meet me here. This is my house. Get these hands. Come get these hands." He didn't do it yet. He was talking all that big crap on here. Kenneth said, "Come on, come to my hometown. Let's fight." And he talks about everybody on here, and he doesn't take any exceptions. He attacked big YouTubers, he attacked small YouTubers. I respect, Kenneth Thomas more than I do all these other dudes who always talk about people who are lower on the food totem pole than they are, who they think they are, and then don't check the people they should be checking, like Rudem. And then also, Thanatos Clutch, he jumped on the panel with, Obsidian on certain points, but now for some reason he says this, Obsidian needs select men to be on his side and add credibility to his platform. And where did that come from? No, it doesn't. He don't need that. He need to just show his success, because he doesn't have no so-called select men, because that word select is bullshit. Kenneth Thomas already showed a BGS and what he looks like. Dude don't look select. Same thing with a whole bunch of other guys on here who call themselves select. If you so select, then guess what? The whole problems in the black community, you so collect, dude, it's on you. It's on you. You the select guys. Y'all should have made these women change you should have changed these women around in over 10 years. You missed the select. So if y'all put this title on yourself being select, why the community the way it is? I'm not select, so I don't have no power. I'm not in the gym. I'm not a big built guy. I'm not this and I'm not that. So it all on you. You the one got all these women, dude. So they all should be in line waiting for you to pound them out. And you should be able to control all of them just like this with a snap of the finger. You should be like Fidel Castro, where he had all types of people on his side. You should be one of these religious cult nuts who could tell people to jump off bridges and all types of other stuff. Have control over their women and everything else. If you so-called select, it means everything that happened right here is all on you, Mr. Select, guys. Tara Love, same chick who come on this panel and goes back and forth with everybody, but she always talks about him on other people's chat. Another two-faced chick who shouldn't even be in his chat room. She said Obsidian's going outside. Then the next day jump in his chat, then going back and forth with black men. I admit it with, Xander's whole clutch, even though he said what he said, but he did make it a point, because Nicole and Obsidian was supposed to go to Brazil, and on Obsidian's part, that he never been out of Philly or never been to another country, it is kind of weird that he's not going to try to experience other places. And I think that for him saying he's a thinking black man and all this other stuff situations, I think he is just book smart, not street smarts. Because if you have confidence in your street smarts and your people smarts, then you can go anywhere in the world. You know there's do's and don'ts in a country, and you have to connect with certain people. You have to follow certain rules. You can go anywhere in the world. There's certain parameters that you can't go in certain countries, and there's certain parameters you can't even go out in Philly. It's like that all over the world. It's like that anywhere. But for him not to go out and try to experience something new and be able to have more options, it was kind of corny of him, Obsidian, to do that to Nagone, especially when they was coming up. It was not very smart when they was going up to about to go to Brazil. So that was wrong on his part, and Xanatos had a good point in his comment. Now, I think I missed the comment of what Nicole said. Mind you, she jumped on his panel after this, trying to find it. And then one of this dude right here says, women ain't gonna change unless the men change and take charge. That's the same talking point as a female. I don't know if this guy's female, because a lot of guys do change and a lot of guys do take charge. And guess what? These women send their little pookie dogs and their rabid controllable mutts to go bite at the guys who they feel they shouldn't. They do the same thing. That shouldn't be on top. You think that when guys come back to the hood and they're better than the guys that these women choose, you think that that when these guys get shot and get robbed, that a woman is not behind the man being sent on his man to take his life and stuff? I mean, there's a situation that happened back in May where a Ugandan or African or a Nigerian man got shot and killed inside his apartment because he was hanging out with 3 girls, and they set him up. So that's a flawed statement right there. Oh, they're gonna take charge. No, they want to put guys that they think belong in charge. Like, they think Taz is the end all be all. They thought Nipsey Hussle was the end all be all. These women want certain guys they want to be on there, but these guys that they choose don't have the skills or talent to actually make anybody progress. Trying to find it. I don't want this video to be longer than it should be, but here we go. Nicole, someone who was on his panel the next day, calls him a narcissist. Funny to me that when she was up on Obsidian's panel, she was talking about her, me. I didn't see that. I didn't do that. No, it's not. It's not like that. No. Me. But she want to call Obsidian that. Now, mind you, after all his comments, right? Here go one on the right side of the guy with the hammer. Here go beside the dude RJ. And in the chat, you'll see Sparkle, but I didn't take the screenshots. This is entirely why a lot of guys, this is the reason why other black dudes who are established, who got skills, don't want to work with other black dudes. Because this messy shit right here. And knowing not to control an environment. If you know a black man If you know a highly skilled black man has problems with black women and you talking about you want to work together, you shouldn't even bring black women around him. Not even your wife to meet him. Because you know how to work together. But a lot of these guys, this shows you this whole mess that's going on, don't have real social skills to work with people who are in different categories and different lives, and they don't know how to cater to certain people who got certain types of skills and trades. So black men are always looked at as embarrassment, because every single time the guys with the skills and the trades and the guys who are good, who have money and stuff, they have the wrong mindset. And he always can't leave these women behind. And then on the opposite side, you got guys who don't want nothing to do with these people. Who we need to work together. Oh, we need to do this. Why are you adding women in this situation? Why are you letting these women dictate who you are? Why are you telling me that I'm not good enough to do business with because I haven't had the validation of women, but we're doing business? Asian people don't do this crap. Latinos don't do this crap. Arab dudes don't do this crap. Russians don't do this crap. You see the smallest, oldest guy who ain't built running the whole Congress and everything. Look at all the people on the Senate and Congress and all types of tables and power structures. These guys are not so-called select. They're not tall. They're not buff. But they run a country. They run the military. They run the government. They run all big companies. They don't let no woman come in a boardroom and talk down to people. They don't talk down to people who got trades. They don't talk down to people who they can utilize so y'all can work together. And look at the messy crap that go on. Just do your own research and make your own assessment on this situation. That's why I'm gonna name this title Black Male Embarrassment. Because every time we see these dudes on here, they are embarrassing. Just the way they throw other men under the bus and how they talk about people when it concerns women. If a guy is super smart, he has an IQ of 110, or of not IQ 110, of an IQ of 210, and you need his specialties, it shouldn't matter if he could get women. It matters what he can utilize his brain for when it comes to you and what you can do with his pockets. You should keep them away. But instead, you always add them. And you always throw them in under the bus. You always talking about men. Then you always letting these women talk about the guys who can support you. It's embarrassing. And everybody, every race is looking at it on a grander scale. This is why we don't want to work with certain guys. This is why we can't work together 100% with each other. Yeah, it went too long. But that's all I wanted to say, man. Black male embarrassment, man.